Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. Unsurprisingly, we are once again in Generations Ultimate. It is the game that I'll be focused on pretty much until I reach Hunt Rank 999. I do not know how long that will take. The length of time that it takes will be purely dependent upon how frequently I choose to play the game. And, you know, I might need a break from it in the future. Maybe next week or the week after, I won't want to play the game. I don't know. I can only know when I no longer feel like playing it. That's all I can say. But yeah. I have beer today. And as far as who's watching or who I may or may not be playing with, no idea. I never know. Going in blind. The beverage today shall match the glass. It is Weihenstephaner. Not that you can really see it. It is, of course, the Hefeweißbier, whatever. I'm not German. And that is one of the best beers from Germany, incidentally. It is a Bavarian beer. It is a very nice one. The only beers that really match up to it for me are Paulaner and I suppose Franziskaner. Although I will say that I don't have as much experience with German beer as I do with Belgian beer. But I do know that this is one of the best, so there you go. Oh, that is a delight. Yeah, that's alright, Autonomic. I wasn't really expecting you to come. It is certainly late for you. Okay. Well, I'll see what's around. I'll try to find a room that we can both fit into. I just want to make it very clear that I generally don't make a room of my own unless I have 3 or more people who are going to hunt with me. Because sometimes it can take a while to get people in, otherwise. Options are not abundant. I just joined an adult car room. Don't try to join on me for this one, Autonomic. I am going to back out of this room. Unless this is what we do. I mean, we could always do adult car. I suppose we could do that. To be completely honest, I don't have many options, so let's do an adult car, Autonomic. I'll stay in this room after all. I don't know if Heng is, I want to say, at keyboard. Not everyone has a keyboard plugged into their game, but you know, the meaning is clear. Unless it's not. Unless you don't know what I'm talking about, which is always possible, I suppose. Actually, I can't bring myself to use the Zenogh longsword, I just can't. I actually cannot. I must use the true double slicer. Now I will check this, because I haven't checked for a while, but I'm going to see if it says that I'm live on Hunsterverse. It doesn't matter. Like, it actually doesn't matter. I don't have any viewers from Hunsterverse, so it really means nothing, but I would like to know. It does say that I'm live. There you go. Okay. Just wanted to know. Now I don't have to worry about it for another month or something like that. Fortunately, he is at least doing what the room information would suggest. There are sometimes rooms that you join that have a bit of a surprise on the board. You think you're doing one thing, and then it turns out you're doing something completely different because the person has no ability to actually post the quest that concurs with the title of the room, or the objective outlined in the room information. But, you know, that's just the community that we're in right now. That's what you have to deal with. You know what, nullberries, I've got plenty, make no mistake, but that is possibly something that I could trade for more of. You know, I've got a lot of honey, and I think I'd like more nullberries, quite frankly. Annoyingly, I do have that bot who's following me every time I go live. It's some bot called Hoss, and then a series of numbers. Shockingly, it's actually the exact same account that's followed me twice. It's Hoss 00312 _. The exact same account has followed me today as well as yesterday. But anyway. I don't understand the point of it. I mean, I'm sure there is a logic to bot following, especially when it's like this, but I don't really understand it personally. Miss Air has joined. See what's happening with Miss Air. Using what I believe to be the Atulkar Sword and Shield and a pretty good armor set. A respectable armor set. One that is not reliant upon the skills of the Atulkar armor set, which is refreshing to see, I must say. I don't know why my bloody television is so loud. It just seems like it's really loud. I don't know why. It shouldn't be loud. Before I started this recording, I literally lowered my TV volume further than it usually is lowered to. But it still sounds really loud. I don't know. It doesn't matter too much. It's not really something that's going to bother you, but I just don't want any bleed into the microphone. Because if there is a slight delay, then you'll hear that and it's distracting. And it's not my kind of thing. But again, the less time I spend complaining about such things, the more time you can spend enjoying the recording. Yeah, I'm definitely going to lower the volume of the game. I don't know how this has happened. Maybe my ears are especially sensitive today, but it sounds like the game's fucking loud. And I don't really understand it. Yeah, the game's louder than normal. I don't know how that could possibly be, but yeah, I will shut up about it, and I will solve the problem after this hunt. I feel like I took way too much damage there. This is the event quest, isn't it? This must be the event quest. No, apparently not. I felt like I took more damage there, but no. I don't often find myself doing the event quest, it's worth mentioning. Every time someone wants to do this quest, it's always the standard one. And that might be for the better. I really don't want to do the standard one, much less the event, so... there you go. I'm scratching my face. At risk to myself. There we go. Pull myself back. And I may as well aim for the abdomen. I don't have to worry about bouncing or anything like that. I do literally have an armor set that resists such eventualities. Oh, excuse me. There we go. I will probably save Unhinged Spirit until I'm in the red. That's what I will say to that. In case anyone wanted an update on my planned course of action. I appreciate that everyone was of one mind on which leg or foot to attack, but I barely got a hit in because I was getting terribly flinched. Well, there's no real point even continuing the combo at that point. I'd be better off saving my... Oops, I'm way off target. Yeah, I would have been better off saving my... Like, this team is too good. I can't even get any hits out. Because they're dealing too much damage or they're flinching me too hard. One of the two. In some cases, both, I suppose. Alright. Now just let me get into the red naturally and then I can Unhinged Spirit. Okay. You can't even see what I'm doing, most likely. Which flailing character am I? Not even I know, really. I've got a vague idea. I was genuinely confused when I was doing Unhinged Spirit. I was like, wait. I'm so used to seeing the visual cue, but there was no visual cue. It was just a bunch of flailing limbs. And, yeah. I kind of feel sorry for Miss Air, honestly. The only non-longsword user right now in the team. And that may or may not result in flinching. It really, if anything, depends on Miss Air. Which sounds a little bit unfair, but the point is that that rhymes with the name, so that's great. No, that's not the point. The point is that, you know, when there are 3 longsword users, we can't all be expected to avoid hitting Miss Air. Miss Air is going to have to take it upon herself to keep the hell away from us. Majority rules in this case, and there is a majority of longsword users in this group. So the one to give way shall be Miss Air. Alright. Oops, don't need to get, whatever that would be, urinated on, is that comparable? No, I don't think so. I believe spiders have, you know, bodily functions outside of spinning web. That, you know, in other words, urination and, you know, shooting out web are not in any way the same sort of thing. But anyway, it's certainly something that is excreted from the body, but it is something that is functional rather than something that must be expelled from the body. Anyway, let's not get into subjects of that nature. It's a bit disgusting. Okay, please don't knock me off. I beg of you. I do have critical juncture at the ready. I can barely see what is going on. We just got pushed off. He was steaming. He had, in that moment, he needed to expel some steam. I don't know what the hell that was. Dragonator, I think. What is that? What are those weird looking things? Horns or something? I saw some information that said support from the horns something or other. I don't know. So maybe they are horns? I don't know. Maybe there are aspects to this quest that I'm still unfamiliar with. Which, you know, might be embarrassing to admit. But I don't really know how far my ignorance goes, so I have nothing to be embarrassed about yet. Can only barely see what I'm doing. I would assume that we're pretty close to getting to the final stage of the fight. That's what I feel inside. I know I'm doing lots of damage myself, so there you go. If anyone else is doing damage on par with mine, then, or on par with me, I suppose that means the team's doing good damage. Oh. Don't want to get webbed. There you go. Final stage of the battle. What I find funny is that Adolkar just sort of sits there awkwardly, as if he wasn't expecting to be forced out of his fortress. And I am assuming that is what's intended to be communicated or expressed. And the fact that he just sits there in a stationary manner. Alright. That's something that needs to be addressed. Low health must be addressed immediately. Why is my fucking television so loud? It must be me. Like, I must personally be hearing more of the game than I normally would. But no, that doesn't sound right. I said that I would get off the subject, and I did, but I'm back on it, so... yeah, I'm gonna have to turn that shit down. Not that it means anything to you, but I usually have my TV volume at 6. It's currently 5. And it sounds louder than usual, so I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. Sometimes there are mysteries in this world. Some are better left unsolved. My mic doesn't... what do you mean? No, ideally my mic wouldn't pick up my TV output. Sometimes it might pick up a tiny little bit of it if I'm not careful. That's the idea. That's why I don't want it to be too loud, but in an ideal world, no, Beans. But sometimes it will slightly pick up certain bits and pieces. Iridescent carapace. I'm telling you, I used to have such difficulty getting that in the past, but they're just flooding into my inventory these days. Alright, I'm going to lower the volume of the game. And if you want to play Beans, let me know. Yeah, there's definitely a spot. Not in this room, but I'm not staying in this room because this is an Adolkar room. and I have no intention to hunt Adalkar more than once. I barely had the intention to hunt him once, so I'm certainly not going to want to do it twice. Ugh. I really only decided to do Adalkar because there was a dearth in options available to me. Alright. So with that, I think we're going to get the hell out of this room. Almost at hunter rank 910, not really, I mean we're getting there. But, you know, that's about 10% of the way through the road to hunter rank 999 from 900. So, that's good. I'm going to join this room actually, Elderfrost Trunk Spine, because it just so happens that I need them to. You're welcome to join Autonomic and Beans. I hope that you get in here. I hope that you both get in here, but I hope that you'll understand that if for whatever reason you can't get in here... Actually, no, there'll only be room for one of you. Shit. Yeah, look, I'll be playing for a while. Keep that in mind, but... While I've got a group here wanting to do trunk spines, I'm gonna join because I actually need trunks. Well, never mind, don't worry about it. Turns out that they're not even doing that. You know what's happened? There was a group doing trunk spines, and then this guy became the host and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna post what I want," completely disregarding the title of the room. And then he posted Snow Baron EX because he's an absolute low-functioning human being. So yeah, we're not going to do that. We're instead going to probably make... Yeah, I'll make my own room. In the end, it worked better out for you. It worked out better for you guys. There you go. Hello, Sega. Thank you for the follow. G-rank room. HR minimum 13. Apply range. Create hub. Alrighty. Now, I both want to fight Elderfrost and don't at the same time. Because I do need trunk spines, but I really don't enjoy hunting Elderfrost because I've hunted a lot of him. In fact, I will check to see how many of him I have hunted. I had guessed, when I was going to check the number of, I think, Solciers that I had hunted, I had guessed 40 and I had 39 or 38 killed. So, I'm going to guess Elderfrost at about 50. I'm going to guess Elderfrost at 50, so let's have a look. Elderfrost. 42. Okay. So I did overestimate it, but you know what? That's still a lot. For me, that's a lot. Because well, I suppose it's not that many, is it? But still, it felt like more than that. You are welcome to join, Sega, you may as well. Better to have you in than some random person. That's not to say that I don't want to have a random person in the room, but, you know, it is technically better to have someone I can communicate with in this way, rather than having to type in game or something like that. The room information is just G-rank. I mean, look, there aren't too many rooms up at the moment, just when you search for the room, well, it looks like you made it in anyway, unless this isn't you. If this isn't you, do let me know. It probably isn't you, in fact, but we'll find out. But, yeah, in terms of the room information, just set your search parameters to HR13 minimum, and you'll find the room, because there aren't many rooms like that. I seem to be unable to stop myself from using longsword. Okay, yes, you are right in that it's full. I was waiting for confirmation as to whether or not this was you that had joined the room. Do try again, please. Bean says he can't even use longsword. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, there's nothing bad about longsword, it's just, for a lot of people, that's a good starting point in Monster Hunter. and it's something to be graduated from. Like, you need to graduate from longsword. It's a very easy and simplistic weapon type to use. There is a reason to Monster Hunter Rise actually choosing longsword as the new standard, like the new starting weapon type. It is because it's a very simplistic weapon. In fact, they've given it so much functionality now that it's probably better and more well-rounded than the sword and shield. So, there you go. Yes, I do think that you are making a good guess, Beans. I would have to agree with you there. So we'll start off with you, Beans. We'll take it in turns, in descending order from me, while skipping me. That is how we will do it. That is assuming Sega wants to post something of his own, which he may or may not want to do. Yeah, it's definitely not a random autonomic. The chances of someone named Sega joining the room, when someone named Sega in the Twitch chat is trying to join, I mean, that would be unfathomable, almost. Infinitesimally small probability. Alright, Hyper Bracky again. What would I like to use? How about Hammer? No. I quickly decided that I didn't want to do that. Let's go Sword and Shield. It's gonna hurt, but... And I say that because, again, my Sword and Shield set is not that great for defense. Whatever. Agamemnon. Alrighty. Well, autonomics using the greatsword that I use for blunt element. But with sharpness +1, it's perfectly fine as a weapon that is not used in conjunction with bludgeoner. At least I would assume so. Did I say sharpness +1? I meant sharpness +2. Again, I always say sharpness +1 by default because for the longest time there was no sharpness +2. So, yeah. I suppose I should be saying handicraft at this point because that gets the point across. Alright. Took a while for me to eat what was ultimately pretty ordinary food, but I was looking for Exchanger as I usually do. Oh, the client is actually the Moga Chief. How about that? It makes sense. It is the deserted island. Which was really called the Moga Woods. That's what they call it, I suppose. Wouldn't really call this a wooded area, but... I mean, there are wooded areas here, just not that we can access. That's the irony of it. But it is called the Moga Woods. Only in Tri and 3 Ultimate, though. In all the other games, it's the deserted island. And I believe in the online part of 3 Ultimate and Tri, it was called Deserted Island. Hey, Spaceman. Goodness me. Whoa. Yeah, the last time I was recording in the evening, in Monster Hunter, was part 106, the really long one, that I think I just uploaded about an hour ago. The chroma key was way too strict for that one. I was basically phasing out of existence. You could only really tell when there was a light colour behind me. If it was a dark colour behind me, you couldn't really see. But if there was a light colour, I was just fading into the background. And it wasn't great, but... You know, that's why I'm a bit anal about those things. It's because, you know, even when I am trying to see if everything's fine, I can miss it. I might not notice. So, it's just as well that I'm as anal as I am. I think it's fine now, though. Should be fine. Alright. Trying to remember if Brachydios appeared in the deserted island in 3 Ultimate. I don't think he did. I think it was only in the tundra and the volcano. He would have appeared in the deserted island in the offline. So in the village mode, he would have been part of the free hunt. But apart from that, no. And likely only at nighttime, would be my guess. Because nighttime generally had the harder monsters for some reason. I believe how it worked was that daytime was the low rank stuff, and nighttime was the high rank stuff? I don't know. I could be remembering that incorrectly. But anyway. I seem to recall the change from night and day being your ability to control whether you were going to do free hunt in low rank or high rank. So, there you go. Free hunt was a lot more comprehensive when it came to covering all of the monster types, or monsters that existed in the lineup. In 3 Ultimate versus Tri, Tri had a very, very limited free hunt. I believe the free hunt monsters in Tri were Grey Jaggy, Kurapeko, Royal Ludroth, Laggy, and Raytheon, and that was it. Whereas I think most of the monsters in the lineup were included in free hunt. In 3 Ultimate. Now. Taking pretty heavy damage, as I anticipated. Please stop with this crap, man. He was quite aggressively on my case. Must prioritize being rid of my slime. Or blast, as I suppose you would call it in this game, but it is slime. I'm going to call it slime, because that's what it is. It's just they've called it blast effect here. I might sharpen up, actually, seeing as though I'm being given something of an opportunity to do so. Fortunately, he was aiming for autonomic with that one rather than me. If he was aiming for me, he would have jumped right on my face while I was trying to consume my beverage. There's a lot of stuff being directed towards me, though, and I don't appreciate it. Hey Vern, everything's going alright at the moment. It is a full viewer room at the moment. Although Sega is a brand new viewer, to my understanding. Started off with Adal Carr, actually. Not in this room, but in a previous room. Which is one way to warm oneself up. Vernon having a busy night at work. How unusual. Yeah, right on the face. That is satisfying. I guess it was mostly the head, to be honest. I believe there is no difference between the head and the face in terms of the hit zone, but in terms of what I would refer to, I think it would be better to say head in that case. I do apologise for the background noise. That is the Doomlink special. Listening to background noise. Don't go running off target. That's one thing with Chaos Oil. You have to be aware of the fact that when you activate it, you do quite a significant run forward animation. So if you're already on target and you do Chaos Oil, sometimes you can just run off target entirely. So you have to make allowances for that. Alright. Let's try to kill him here, shall we? We'll do what we can to do so. I tried. I'll stay at this sharpness level. I'll go and carve that tail, may as well. I feel like this Aptonoth is very confused. It's unsure of whether to be frightened or upset, or rather angry. Frightened or angry, there you go. Upset can refer to both of those two things. But yeah. Fucking bastard managed to get away from us twice. I'm assuming he went this way. I was expecting more of a digging animation to take place there. Well, fuck it. Don't have time for a proper wake-up, you've got to be kidding me. The guy was basically dead. Alright. I'm feeling especially bloodthirsty at the moment, so I'm going to go and kill some Jagia. And calm them, in fact, to assert further dominance. Avian Stoutbone. Yeah. Some G-rank Jagia stuff. Alright, so I suppose it's Autonomic's turn next. We'll see what we've got. Alright, I'll keep that in mind, Sega. But you'll be staying in for now. You've never played before, so... no matter what, I'll have you in for a few more hunts. And if there's no one else who wants to rotate in, you can stay for as long as you want. Alright. There's Exchanger. Of course not. Whenever the fucking chef fails to make decent food, I mean, he's fired up, but he still fails in giving me decent food, you know for sure that I'm not going to get Exchanger. It's fucking annoying, man. There is a temptation to go and cycle food, but I won't do it. I won't do it. Yes, you did miss the milestone. I hit Hunt Rank 900 in Heart 106 it was. We're in 108 now. Yeah, 106 was being recorded. It was actually a fairly long recording. It was 4 hours, and it was more than 4.5 hours. It was actually 4 hours and 46 minutes or so. But that was being recorded at around this time of night. It actually went until midnight my time, so it was quite late. But yeah, you didn't appear for that. It was good though. I was playing with Beans, Blue Barn, myself, obviously. Playing with myself. Thank you, Doomlink, for outlining that. Never would have guessed otherwise. And I can't remember if there was a fourth person we were hunting with. I don't think there was. I think it was just Beans, Blue Barn, and myself, and then like a random in the fourth slot. If there was a fourth guy playing and I've forgotten them, then I'm sorry. But there might have been a fourth guy. Not sure. Well, Yi was the random. Yi was there for a while. He was like a mainstay in that room. Autonomics using the blood bath. So they want me to say blood bath. I don't read that as bath. I read that as bath, thank you very much. If they want me to say bath, they can put 2 fucking A's in there. As far as I'm concerned. You don't require 2 A's to create an R sound with 1 A, but you know. You're not gonna say bath if it's 1 A. Oh, excuse me, you're not gonna say bath if it's 2 A's, that's the point. Let's not overcomplicate the situation. Let's see what the next quest is gonna be. I have a problem with that weapon because it's one of the ugliest greatswords in the series. It's not a bad greatsword, it just makes me sick to the stomach to look at. That's all, not a big deal. Through thick and thin. From blood bath to through thick and thin. I feel like I've got a speech impediment reading all this stuff. He did say it was going to be Zamtrios. Well, I was too busy looking at what you had to say, Vernon. Which I'm sure you wouldn't take issue with now, would you? I'll go dual blades, I suppose. Yeah, I do miss a message here and there. 'Tis the nature of doing 2 things at once. Well, technically I'm doing 3 things at once. Playing the game, reading the chat, and running my mouth. Alright. Haven't really been using dual blades very much, have I? I should do a bow run. As in, just bow only for a period of time, because I feel like I haven't given bow enough love recently, so I think I will do that. I'll just do bow and that's it. And playing with myself, that's correct. Yeah, I've definitely been playing with myself. It's the level of mastery I've achieved with multitasking. And also stealth. Because nobody knew until I said it. Thankfully I have an understanding community when it comes to not reading messages. Well, understanding or not, it is what it is, and they can like it or they can lump it, quite frankly. I do what I can to read the chat, but if I miss a message or 2, they're going to have to live with it. I will thank tolerance and patience where it is clearly displayed, but I'm not going to be freaking out if people aren't happy with it. It is what it is. No, but I like my community. As always. It's small, but it's size doesn't matter, you know. I didn't ask for this to become the sexual innuendo live stream, but it's turning into that. Sometimes it's always that. It's just a matter of subtlety. Or a degree of subtlety that can change, depending on the day. Today would be one of the less subtle days. I was expecting him to deflate for some reason. I'd seen something that indicated that he was going to do that, and he didn't. Okay, now I think he's deflating. But I couldn't get the hell out of the way. I did what I could, but my best wasn't good enough. There's Bloodwind 2. Oh, Bloodwind 2. Now, I did actually make an attempt to get out of the way of his inflation there, but I couldn't. Oh, there you go. Not the best timing for a paralysis. Sega is in Ice Blight. I was quite far from the monster. But you know what? Better to have a paralysis now than never. But a paralysis was bound to come, given the use of Death Grip. By Sega. No, by Beans, sorry. Don't know why I said Sega. It must have been the first word that I saw on the screen when I wanted to say someone's name. What's he doing playing a Nintendo console anyway? What's that about? A Sega will go home. Sega only. I suppose he would be playing this game on a Sega console if he could. Alright, will do. Vernon? Will do. If we start hearing a thumping coming from under your desk, I'm gonna bust. Okay. Well, that would mean that I've failed when it comes to the stealth aspect that I mentioned before. Don't worry about it. I mean, you never know, I could have developed a skill to go one-handed, you know. Index finger on the left analog stick, thumb on the right analog stick, and then somehow do weird-ass maneuvers to press all the buttons that I need to. Although, the shoulder buttons would become problematic, but, you know, maybe I'd stretch my fingers in some weird-ass way, you know. It would be a talent. I think you'd forgive me for such crass behaviour. Such unseemly activities if I were able to play without you noticing with one hand on my controller. Alright. Let's go and snoop on Bean's set. I don't think he's got a set specific to paralysis though. I think he's just got a general use armor set and is using a paralysis weapon. That's what I believe to be the case. I was correct. General use Blade Master set, which is perfectly functional, and Death Grip is a good weapon on its own that doesn't necessarily need to have its paralysis capabilities boosted, but it helps to have that. But yeah, Bean's only started playing a few months ago. He's been doing work. What have we got? Oh no. Okay. If you say so. You guys better bring your A game. This is one of the hardest quests in the game. And I will be going Adept Light Bowgun for this one. Change style on Hunter Arts, there you go. Adept. Keep with Bullet Geyser because that's technically an evasion skill. Oh, this quest is truly awful. I don't think I've completed it before. I don't think I've actually... No, I think I have done it once. Once I think I did it. But it was a good team. I'm not saying that means we're gonna fail, but... we can't just waltz in here like we own the place. We have to be ready for the fight of our lives, otherwise we're not going to succeed. So, let's be nice and careful about what we're doing. Autonomic is like, yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah, I did. My previous status set was probably on par with yours, but my current one, once I finally made it, is probably a little better. What am I doing? not getting exchange because it's not an option, but that's fine because in the end, I think I'll be going for Moxie here. Oh, you didn't even know what was on the board? Well, you managed to miss out on a quest that you would have been better off not doing. You might not have gotten to sleep tonight if you did this quest. Alright, who have we got? A guy with defense that is far from acceptable for this hunt. 671 defense. I don't care if he gets more defense after eating. It's just not good enough. I wouldn't kick him on the basis of his defense if it weren't for the fact that we have on the quest board one of the hardest quests in the game. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be sticking around. Beans, by comparison, has 836 defense, which, I know this is going to sound crazy, is still pretty low defense for this quest. I mean, even 900 defense is low defense for this quest, but the point is that, yeah, 670 whatever it was is totally unacceptable, rather. Beans, really. Like I said, doesn't matter what defense value you have, you're going to be taking very heavy hits, so... Sorry, X-Ray. Shameful. Nezuko is a beautiful female. No man should have that name, and I would have kicked on that principle alone. Okay. Good to know. Oh, that's really cool that you've got these options on hand. Beans, that's great. Look at that. We've got stamina recovery. I mean, this is an interesting list of skills you've got here. We've got elementality, which I don't think I've seen since 4 Ultimate. Got stamina recovery up, trump card, composed, longer SP, and divine blessing. So just the divine blessing plus this defense is going to do wonders for your survivability. In my case, you know, I've got Adept and Moxie, that'll be good enough. And as far as gunner defense is concerned, 579 is pretty good. So I'm not too worried, but I have a feeling like we're going to cycle through the entire player base before departing on this quest, because when I say player base, I mean the people playing right now. I don't mean literally every person who's ever played Generations Ultimate, ever. Because that's not going to be happening, but... yeah. Well, it's better defense than what you had, Beans, and that's great. Your friends are doing the exact same quest right now. Well, if they succeed, then good on them. Thing is, I'm not going to depart with 3 because I would like a full group to do this. Otherwise, we could try to 3-man. It's not like it's impossible to 3-man. I'd just rather not. Yeah, I can pour my next beer in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, we're not... I can only kick so many people until we run out of people to join this room, you have to understand, because there aren't too many people playing at the moment. You've seen this quest before, Autonomic. It's Event Valstrax. You've probably failed it with me on more than one occasion. Yeah, this is the event quest, Beans. This is a high health, very high damage Valstrax in the arena. Well, I don't like calling it an arena. It's actually the tower. Well, no, it's the Tower Arena, which has now been renamed to the Forlorn Arena. And I'm going to be feeling quite forlorn. Well, I'm already feeling forlorn. I'm going to be feeling profoundly lugubrious if I actually engage in the quest, which I'm going to. I'll give it 2 minutes. If we don't get anyone in 2 minutes, we'll depart with 3. Because we can do it with 3. It's just going to be hard. Because what it... Here we go, this guy might be good. Yeah, I'm liking that. Defense is good. He seems willing to do it. I'm not in any way impressed to see this guy using a dragon weapon against a monster that takes 0 dragon damage. Not even remotely impressed. I understand that his armor set is boosting his dragon damage, but... you know. I'm gonna ask, do you have any other weapons? Literally anything else would be great. This is a weapon that actually capitalizes on dragon damage that he's using, so that would suck. Do you have another weapon? Like seriously, he could have chosen any other element, but he chose the one that this monster takes 0 damage from. So, what can I say? Do you have another weapon? I don't like shortening weapon to wep, because it reads as if I've got some sort of mental deficiency. But it should get the point across, but apparently not. He's walking in a circle. Fine. As long as he doesn't die, I guess he'll be contributing. Let's do it. I'll pour the beer after the hunt. That can be my reward for the hell I'm about to experience. Forget Valstrax, Big Sis is scarier. Well, I'll say you say, Autonomic, but it's a bit less forgiving than that. I do have Demon Affinity, and I'll go and get ready to shoot that. There you go. Everyone should be buffed up. I don't know if there was anything in the box. If there was, then tough shit. Didn't get any of it. I think I missed that shot. I don't need your wind press, sir. So that attack there that he just did has incredible range. That's the attack that fucks you up the most in this quest, honestly. The incredible range of that attack, and then it, you know, deals all that damage too. Because he's the event Valstrax. I was being a bit dramatic when I said that I wasn't sure if I'd cleared this quest before. I've definitely cleared this quest a number of times before. Both on camera and off camera. But I've failed it so many times that it actually has overridden the... well, he changed his target so quickly there that I wasn't ready to evade it. Anyway. Zhao is already dragon blinded, so he's not going to be dealing any elemental damage anyway, so... whatever. The point of the matter is that he's sitting on 305 raw, which is not very impressive, but, you know, it could be worse, technically. I'd like to get some shots off on the face here while he's not enraged, but... actually, no. Enraged or not, he'll be taking damage from the head from cutting damage. It's elemental damage that he becomes resistant to when enraged. Stall part. Hey, Gunzelina. Yeah, the hardest thing is not just the quest itself, it's getting a group that won't fail. That's really the challenge. Zhao is doing what he can to stay alive. I can see that things are getting a bit dicey for him. Indeed, he was unable to keep himself alive. And I am now on the struggle bus, as they say. I mean, you have to understand that I was absolutely not anticipating that anything that he was going to do in that moment would reach me from where I was in relation to him. That was not even... I did not factor in that possibility, but he swung his entire body around and hit me from an incredible distance, and that was my death. I think we might have to restart, guys. Let's restart, please, let's restart. I want to try again, okay? I do want to try again. but 2 of us died too soon, and we can do better than that for sure. I don't think anyone had insurance. If someone had eaten for insurance, then maybe it wasn't necessary to abandon, but I think that we can do better than that. Whether or not Zhao sticks around, I couldn't say. My guess is that he won't, but, you know, if he doesn't, then maybe that's for the better, because the guy's not really contributing anyway, so... You know, I took him on the basis that he's probably not going to make the quests take longer, you know. But yeah, that was a surprise attack that finished me off, for sure. Is he gone? Yeah, get out. Fucking dick. Alright. You're lucky I even let you in the quest with your fucking dragon weapon, you clown. Alright. I have to resist the temptation to get Exchanger. I suppose I'll go for Moxie. That's what saved my ass previously. It didn't really save me as much as I'd wanted to, but... Yeah, that can be our warm-up quest. We now know what's involved. If anyone hasn't eaten for insurance, I would recommend that they do. No one has, but that's alright. We can still survive. I think. Well, I guess I can still pour my beer. Goodness me. Still confused on how food works? Basically, your food is split into, like for the G rank food, or the best category of food that you have, it's split 4 ways in terms of the skills that you get. So for attack up food, that's 1 lot of skills. For defense up food, that's a separate lot. Keeping in mind that that can change. There aren't really fixed skills in this game. There are technically fixed skills, but yeah, for the most part they appear randomly. And then you've got 2 separate groups that are kind of halved in the elemental resistances page. Hello, Jimad? I don't know how to pronounce the umlaut A, but anyway. I'm guessing it's Jimard. Oh, goodbye. He took 1 look at me and was like, fuck this, and he left. I don't know. I don't know if I should be offended or amused. Yeah, so an example of a fixed skill would be Specialist. For defense food, Defender High is fixed. There are a number of fixed skills. They're not as fixed as they were in the older games, because I think they can still change positions, but you'll always find them in one of the foods for defense up. One of the ways in which you can prepare the food. I don't like the food system in this game, let me be very clear about that, but still, it's not as bad as it has become in 5th generation, so whatever. But yeah, Capcom have never been content with their food system. They've always wanted to change it. I don't know if that's because they've always found that it's something that can be changed in every single game, and doing so keeps it fun, or if it's an indication that they've never been satisfied with a system that they've implemented when it comes to food. You could really argue for both sides, but I don't know if this is an improvement upon the previous system or not. It's different, but whether or not it's an improvement, I would say, would be a subjective matter. Again, I didn't kick this last guy. He left on his own. He would have been perfectly fine to join this quest, but he joined the room, walked over to my character, checked me out, and left. And I don't know what that means. He didn't check to see what quest was on the board. That's not what that wasn't the deciding factor as to whether or not he stayed. So, here we go, this is what I'm looking for. How do you feel about this quest, Kaiser? I mean, if you didn't want to join with this group, you wouldn't want to ever do the quest, quite frankly. A lot of people don't want to deal with gunners in hard quests like these. Well, that's a fair guess, Gunzolino, but as I said, he didn't check which... Oh, no. He didn't need to check which quest was on the board. He can actually see which one's posted before joining the room. I forgot about that. I do forget that that's visible. So he did know what quest it was, but... You know, really, I have Adept, come on. And quite frankly, Gunners and Blade Masters are equally susceptible to death when it comes to a monster that deals this much damage. Because in the end, you know, if I've got Moxie, I can still take a hit, and ultimately, I'm not in the danger zone. I'm outside of the range of the monster for the most part, although I suppose that's almost not true for Valstrax, given how long-range some of his attacks are. Anyway, let's do what we can. I think two of us have Demon Affinity here. I'll start off with mine. Oh, Kaiser didn't actually get affected by that. I'll stand in position to receive his. Thank you. Come on, Valstrax. Wanting to aim for your head. Or your neck or your chest, that general area, thank you. Should have rolled that, but whatever. Got a few shots off on the head there. Wasn't too sure how long range that attack would be, but wasn't too bad. I'm not desperate to succeed in this quest. If we have a really good attempt and we fail it, that'll probably do it for me. But that previous attempt wasn't really good enough for me. That felt like... Well, we hadn't technically failed it, you see, but I felt like we could have done better, so I wanted to try again. It's just unfortunate that it's taking a long time to try again, because we don't really have a solid group. Alright. It's taking a while to come down this time. Big spin? No. Not today. Well, maybe today, just not at this time of the day. I believe that Kaiser has slicing as well. I'm just opening with slicing because I'd like to get that out of the way. It's the one that requires a little bit more accuracy, a little bit more effort. Pierce I feel like I don't have to be as accurate with, so I'd like to enjoy that after I've put effort into slicing. It's my reward for putting effort in, basically. See, I'm aiming for the neck there because otherwise it'll end up hitting his wingtip instead. From that angle, at least. Don't really have to worry about critical distance so much with slicing. It's not about the impact damage, it's about the damage that the shot or the blades that are injected into the monster from the point of impact. Oh, there you go. Which is to say, I think that the increased damage from the Adept roll I don't think really applies to slicing, because it's not the impact that deals the damage. See, I don't know if it's an increase in your actual damage or if it's shot damage increase. It would have to be your character's attack value that would have to increase in order for slicing to deal more damage. That's the point. So, I don't know. Haven't really thought about it. Good knockdown. And a good opportunity for me to get the rest of my slicing out on the face. Well, I'll just shoot that as needed. And now for Pierce. It's now time for me to try a little harder with critical distance. Unfortunately, why would you do that, Kaiser? I don't think I've ever had a person of his hunter rank as a gunner line up with me that hard. Like, literally standing next to me. Like, that is the ultimate gunner's faux pas. You do not stand next to another gunner, because all that does is increase the chance of both of us being targeted by the monster, which is terrible. It's bad for you, and it's bad for the other person. So, don't do that. It's a terrible idea. Oh, probably should be more strategic about when I evade when I've got Adept, instead of just trying to evade out of the way generally. I might support Kaiser. But the biggest thing about supporting your teammates is making sure that you're not going to take a hit after supporting your teammates. Because otherwise, there's no use getting someone out of a bad situation by then putting yourself into a bad situation, because you've effectively just engaged in some sort of substitution technique, which is not going to help the team ultimately. You know, it's the same situation, but you're in it instead of someone else. So, a life powder should only be consumed if you're sure that you're not going to be at risk of doing so, or placed at risk after having done so. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. Dibby UK. Whoop. So that's the attack that I really wanted Adept for. It's not really something you can get out of the way, obviously. And he actually can cover a lot of distance with that one anime. Very nice. Second time we've had a nice, clean knockdown out of the air. I'll hold off on reloading until I'm sure that I'm safe. I wasn't really sure in that moment, but thought I'd go for it. No. Did you see how he changed what he was doing there? That wasn't something that I could predict. Rather than predicting it, you just hope that being careful won't cause you to get, or cause you to come off second best, but yeah, it's not something you can predict. You just have to allow yourself more time to react to something that happens unexpectedly by being careful. That's a very satisfying damage threshold there. Very nice. He was stuck in a reload. Couldn't very well evade that. There goes Kaiser. He very quickly finds his target, then charges. Sometimes you're not... And when he begins the animation, it's almost as if you don't know where he's going. And then mid-animation, he finds his target, then goes for that person. Which is a little problematic if you're not paying attention. The point is, you should be paying attention. If anything, it can catch you by surprise. I guess we'll put it that way. I'm not risking that. I will support you guys. Almost took a hit for that, which would have been done for the reasons that I explained previously. There you go. Good hunt, guys. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Alrighty. As far as what comes next, I don't know. I suppose Kaiser will stay in the room now. He's probably pretty happy with the group. It's a group that can be relied on, which is more than you can say for most people who play this game. Maybe not most, let's say 40% of the people who play the game. Although I'd say that's a conservative estimate. 40% of individuals, not 40% of groups. That would be going a bit fun. Maybe. Managed to get a Ruby Dragon Mind Stone there, which is nice. Alright. I wouldn't mind turning down the difficulty level after that one. I think my friend is trying to work out when we can watch anime together. Oh dear. Soon. Later on. I'm playing Monster Hunter. Oh yeah. I'll just write it out for Kaiser's benefit, but player 2. In other words, it is your turn to post beans. Yeah, I have a group of friends. We've all been watching anime for a long time. You know, it's good to have friends who are in the same headspace as you when it comes to watching anime, because there's a new generation of anime viewers right now who just, I can't relate to them, unfortunately. It's not personal, it's just I can't relate to the newer generation of anime fans. It's good to have a group of people who, you know, we all understand, you know, the way things were and how the community now is just a sad joke. But that's a story for another day. Okay. Alright, how about we do one of my quests then? Might come as a surprise to Kaiser after having told player 2 to post, but whatever. We're gonna do... Hold on, if I can actually... I don't even know where to select a Deviant quest, that's how long it's been. I never post Deviant quests, and yet this is why I'm going through first, you know, the regular G-Rank quests, then the event quests, then I'm like, oh yeah, special permit. That's where I find it. Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna do... What's best for trunk spines? Probably G3, huh? I suppose so. I'm going to request that... now, I didn't need to stay with... or keep with... Adept here, but it's easier than changing it. Because I did intend to continue using this particular loadout for this. I need... the trunk to be broken on both of these monsters. I believe there are 2 breaks for the trunk. There's like a double head break and then like 2 trunk breaks. It's weird. There's something really weird going on that I still haven't properly evaluated or reached an understanding about. But trunk spines, I need a lot of them. I need 3 for my next weapon, and I'm probably going to need a total of like, I don't know, 10 or more overall, so... I am eternally behind on anime. So many shows that were airing when I first started getting into anime that I still haven't watched. Still haven't watched Suzumiya Haruhi, if you can believe that. Because when it came out I thought, wow, this looks like a dumb show, I'm not going to watch it, but eventually I was like, no, I'll give it a try, but that was like 10 years ago when I actually decided that I'd give it a try. But yeah, now there's a lot of shows like that that I didn't give a chance at the time. I didn't give Lucky Star a chance, but there's a reason for that. When Lucky Star came out it was very much a novelty, and the community surrounding it were just fucking dumb. So I didn't want to have any part of it. But I watched it a few years later and it turned out to be a great show. But, you know, lots of shows that I didn't end up watching at the time. Kaze no Stigma, didn't watch that because the community surrounding it was dumb. What else? I didn't watch Tengen Toppa Guren Lagann because I wasn't interested in the hype surrounding it. You know, lots of stuff that I need to actually watch that I didn't watch at the time, for reasons that I don't regret using as a basis for not watching it, but, you know, reasons that don't hold up now, I would say. But yeah. Unfortunately, that dive didn't really work out for me. And I did actually forget to eat, somehow. But yeah, Trunk is the priority, if you would be so kind. I was actually stuck in the ADS position now. I was pressing the R button. I must have been affected by tremor, but it didn't take me out of my ADS, which is weird, but anyway. Odd Taxi. I will say that I don't know the English names for anime. That's not because I actively try not to know what they are, I just don't know them. Everyone is always like, have you watched X show? And they say the English name, and I genuinely don't know what it is. Like, it just doesn't come to mind. I know what most of the Japanese names are, but sometimes English translations of shows are just bad. Like, straight up bad. So, yeah, or inaccurate, I should say. So I just don't know what they are. Now, one of the problems with this particular location when it comes to aiming for the trunk is because of its verticality, because it's on an incline, the trunk actually ends up going inside the map half of the time. which is why I have in the past actually opted to do the one faint quest for trunk spines, but I thought I wouldn't do it this time. When Kill La Kill came out, I watched the first episode and I was like, nope, not for me. And I still think that I won't bother watching it. I don't think I'll bother watching it. I actually don't think it's for me. It just seemed a bit dumb. Not my kind of thing. I don't mind light-hearted, silly stuff. Like, I don't need to be intellectually stimulated every time I watch something. I don't want to give that impression, but if it's, you know, there's a type of dumb that I don't really have a thing for, and Kill La Kill gave me that impression, so. But I did watch the first episode when it came out. See, now, I don't know if that's actually a broken trunk. It is, it looks like it, but I don't know if that's enough to give me trunk spines. Now it should be. I think, provided the head has a double break and the trunk's got, you know, lots of cuts all over it, I think that's good enough. So that should be a broken trunk. Hopefully. Odd Taxi's the Japanese name. Good to know. Oh, fuck. I'm assuming it's an older show. It sounds like a 90s OVA. Odd Taxi. It's interesting that you use the word odd, though, in an English name. Because usually you'd use, you know, if it's an anime with an English name, usually they would be words that Japanese people would be familiar with, but I feel like odd would not be a word they would know, generally speaking. It's probably not a word they learn in school. It might be, I wouldn't know, I'm not too familiar with Japanese English education, but, you know. It strikes me as a word that probably, I mean, it's an easy word, I guess, but I'm not sure if they'd learn it. Not sure if it would be common knowledge. Anyway. But that's usually how I gauge whether or not an English name was likely also the Japanese name, you know, it's if what I would deem to be common words that are English known to the Japanese have been used. Let's actually go for a capture here. I would probably need to tell Kaiser, so hold on. Let's capture. I would like to capture one and kill the other. I like to have the best of both worlds, if you know what I mean. Kaiser, for fuck's sake, you dick. I mean, you know, I could always give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he didn't see what I said, but my guess is that it's a language barrier thing. It's extremely annoying, though. So what's the point of communicating if these people don't even know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh yeah. That's just that's Odd Taxi written in katakana, basically. Oddo Taxi. Oh fuck, that is not a good place to be flinged. Really not a good place to be flinged. Can you get your tusk out of my face? Have you ever been slapped by a limp tusk? Trunk? Why do I keep saying tusk instead of trunk? I need help. Anyway. I mean, they both start with T, but one's hard, one's soft. If you know what I mean. My DPS has been well and truly terrible, by the way. Because I've been trying to hit the trunk with slicing shots, which gives way to terrible DPS, ultimately. You've been giving me great opportunities to hit this tusk, though. Gamoth, I appreciate that. Okay, Kaiser. Oh no, either he has cleansers or he had been ice blinded for a while. I've never brought cleansers by default. Beans, my recommendation to you would be to walk on the spot in a circle. Just spin your left analog stick around in a circle and you'll get out of Mud Blight and Ice Blight real fast. They more or less introduced that in 3rd gen, but I'm pretty sure it made a difference in 2nd gen too. And those types of blights were introduced in 2nd gen. I seem to be able to get out of them faster when I spin in a circle in 2nd gen, but it could be placebo. But yeah, whenever you get hit with Ice Blight, never stand still. Because it really does lengthen the time that you are basically stuck in that mode where you can't do anything. Just spin in a circle, you'll get out of it pretty quickly. We will try to capture this one, by the way, although it might be harm, because this guy apparently has no interest in capturing or whatever. It's not that he wouldn't have an interest in capturing, but if he doesn't know what it means, then he's never going to be able to successfully capture, is he? If I were in his position, I'd be watching more carefully to see what the team is doing when the monster's limping. But he didn't. He's just like, nope, I'm going to shoot my gun because I'm doing damage. You know, power to him, I guess, but not really great for a team dynamic. And I understand this might be hard to imagine, but there is also the possibility that he is perfectly competent when it comes to the English language. He might understand English perfectly well, know exactly what capture means, but just didn't read the chat, because, you know, he's busy doing damage. That's what this community's like. You can't measure the probability of anything based on what a person is logically likely or unlikely to do, because there's no logic in this community. There's a lot of really dopey people hanging around. It's sad, honestly. Alright, so I think that trunk is broken, I hope. Yeah, looks like it. It would appear. Yeah, trunk spines, much like how I've said many times in the past, a Diablos hunt where both horns are not broken is a waste of a hunt. I would say it is the same for an Elderfrost Gamoth. If you have done an Elderfrost Gamoth hunt where the trunk is not well and truly broken, that's a bit of a waste of a hunt. The point being that in the case of Diablos, the chances for horns are so low, like, you know, whatever the best horn in this game for Diablos is, I don't know what it is, I always forget, they change it every fucking game. But, you know, while in the case of Diablos, it's because you want to be rolling the dice every time for that really good horn. In the case of Gamoth, you need so many trunk spines that you want to be getting them every quest. Otherwise, you'll be hunting Gamoth specifically for them, like me. You don't want to be in that situation. It's bloody boring. Unfortunately, if you're like me, and you want to make blunt elemental weapons, Gamoth is your best bet for most weapon types, if we're talking about the ice element. And there you go. No capture today, but no one can be blamed for that one. This is precisely why I wanted to capture that one when we had the chance, because it's a lot easier to capture the one that you can see is limping, because there's always a good chance that you won't be given that indication next time around. so you get the capture out of the way. Well, you didn't notice it was limping because it wasn't yet limping, that's the point. We had managed to drop its health down before it could actually get a chance to limp. So that's no one's fault. But it is unfortunate. And quite frankly, there's one guy that I can blame for that. And he is the one named Kaiser. But you know what, he performed his role and his function appropriately during the Valstrax hunt. So, whatever. Yeah, thanks for hunting as well, Beans. It was good fun. Gonzalino, do you play Generations Ultimate? I can't remember if you do. If you do, then you're welcome to play, but if not, then that's alright too. What have we got? One fucking trunk spine? This is why I wanted to capture. Whatever. You know, I do a double quest, right? And I get one trunk spine. Great. VE ticket. I'm not in need of those. I can tell you that much. Oops. Yeah, it should be fine. I'll go and buy some hot drinks. Redo? No. I don't really want to do the quest. I want to get the trunk spines, but I don't want to do the quest. So what that means is that I will only do the quest every now and again. But I appreciate your willingness to do it again in the event that I did want to do it again. Which I don't want to do. We've got Exchanger, come on baby. The chef is actually fired up and wants to do the right thing and give me some good fucking food. Yeah, Maiden Abyss is the name as well, in Japanese. It's absolutely true. There's plenty of shows that have English names. Plenty of shows. But, oh, X-Ray. He was under rank 48 or 49 when he was last here. Now he's under rank 50 and he's ready to go. He's got a quest to post on the board. What's it going to be? Adalcar? The cargoes. Look. X-Ray. And I'm not going to explain this to him because I don't have a keyboard in right now, but it's quite frankly discourteous to enter someone else's room and just throw a quest on the board and expect that someone's going to help you out. Yes, people help you out under those circumstances, but quite frankly you're incentivizing ignorant behavior, because there could very well be a task that we are on task with, and you've just walked in and expected that we're going to help you. I don't incentivize that. I don't encourage it by doing their quests. I just kick them. X-Ray has entered again. You're going to have to understand, X-Ray, that you are being kicked. You are not having connection instability. Yeah, that's no problem, Gonzalino. And yes, I have done a lot of Nakakos. Let's see how much Nakakos I've actually done in total. I'm not entirely sure. Only 33 feels like more, to be honest. It would be more, it's just there are so many damn monsters in the game that, you know, your total hunts get spread out across so many monsters that, yeah, I mean, 33 in one monster in this game is significant. It is. And yet I've done like 100 Silverwind. But, you know, I wonder if I've got all the crowns for Silverwind. Could you imagine if I didn't? I'd probably cry. I hadn't even considered that. I do, at least. Thank God for that. What's a monster that I've hunted a shitload of? Well, I've done 44 Kezu and I've only gotten a Silver Crown Large. It's a bit sad. It's definitely on the pathetic side. Over 200 hunted? Oh god. Brachydios, well. What a surprise, right? That's not a surprise. There's, that's charm farming, man. I'd say most people will have their most hunted monster be Brachydios. I've got 92 Devil Joe. And you know what, that's not just because I wanted to do Devil Joe for Ashurian XR or whatever. It just so happens that a lot of other people want to hunt Devil Joe, so that's almost 100 of him. But yeah, charm farming Brachydios got me to 265 for him, which I'm not really surprised about. 94 Mizutsune. 114 Glavenus? What? What? It doesn't feel like I've hunted 114 Glavenus. When I started this game, none of you really watched those recordings when this game came out, and most of you weren't watching me when this game came out, but I recall saying, like the first time I was playing on camera and fighting a Glavenus in this game, I was saying, I have to warn you, I'm not too comfortable with this monster because I didn't fight him too much in Generations, and that was particularly because I didn't play much Generations. And yet here I am now with 114 under my belt, and I still don't really feel like I've hunted that many. I mean, I've hunted some. Yeah, if it were 50, that would make sense. 114 makes no sense to me. I almost can't relate that to my experience up until this point. Sega, we might have to look for another room, man. I don't know if you're willing to hop across rooms with me, but yeah, unfortunately no one's joining my room, so you're more than welcome to try and join rooms that I join, but yeah, that room that I had going there really wasn't working in our favour. Heavy bow gun sucks, screams Buffy. That quest you have on the board there, you know, I would have joined your room, but it's okay. He is unfortunately completely wrong about heavy bow guns sucking, but I understand why he thinks it sucks. It's because his concept of heavy bow gun is synonymous with Valor heavy bow gun. He probably can't distinguish between the two things. So, yeah. I agree that Valor heavy bow gun sucks 110%. Yeah. That's probably what he's referring to. So, yeah, but I'm not going to join his bloody room. He's doing Silverwind 5. You've got to be joking. Van Bracky? Oh, Tank Evans is sitting in a room on his own. You'll try to follow? I'll try to keep it easy for you. Let's join this guy. Grim Tidings. He's got a room name called Any, which is a bit creepy because any means anything. We could have low rank quests on the board in this fucking room. Check it out. That's a high rank quest. Oh dear. What is it about heavy bowgun that you don't like, Vernon? You don't like other people using it, or you don't like using it yourself? Or both? I think heavy bowgun's great, but I do think it's lost its way. I think bowgun in general has been terribly disrespected in the newer games. That's right. I did say that I was going to do bow, didn't I? So let's do that. I'll stick with bow for the rest of this recording. We'll do Pierce. We'll just 3-man this one, because it's only high rank. He'll be over and done with pretty quickly. What have I got? Exchanger. It's a bit annoying to get Exchanger only for a high rank quest, but I'll take it. Well, that's the thing, Vernon. Have you ever tried heavy bowgun with evade extender? This is your last quest? Okay. I completely recognize your concerns regarding mobility, but if you've tried heavy bowgun with evade extender and still feel like the mobility's bad, then there's nothing I can say. But if you haven't tried it, you should give it a try. Because the mobility is honestly on par, if not better, than the light bowgun weapon type. Technically, you could use evade extender with a light bowgun, obviously, but... Ooh, I didn't bring coatings. I do happen to have 22 power coating level 2, but I was a bit too eager to get into this quest. Unfortunately, Nanalee has been left behind. Sorry, Nanalee. Or Nanalee. Hopefully it wasn't someone's attempt at, you know, naming themselves after the Code Geass character, because that's not how you spell it. It's N-U-N-U. L-E-E, I think. No, it's E-L-E-Y, I think. I suddenly realised that I wasn't 100% on the spelling myself for that character's name, but it's definitely not N-E, or N-A rather. I'm not even keeping track of... Was that a sonic bomb in a Cantor hunt? That's definitely new. Oh, whoops, that's right. I need to go for the level 3 charge here for this Pierce loadout, because this bow actually shoots heavy on a level 4 charge, because this is one of the bows that actually has 4 charge levels by default. So there you go. Oh, it's double L, right. That's about what I... Had I actually written it myself, like, without trying to imagine it, I would have been able to do it. It's kind of like how... I don't know if any of you have ever had to memorize a passcode, rather than, like, if it's something that you actually input for a security door, let's say a security door, for example, where you need to put a passcode in, rather than remember the passcode, you just memorize where you're pressing the buttons, or the... In other words, you don't necessarily remember the passcode itself, you remember the process that you undertake to get the correct passcode. It's a similar thing when it comes to spelling something when you're sitting and writing it out versus in your head, but you're gonna have to stop with those sonic bombs, my friend. Whoops. That's somewhat problematic, yeah. That's what happens when you're not actually watching to make sure that there's no geyser coming out of the ground in the direction that you're running. It's honestly a bit problematic. Oh, that's right, this is a hiring quest, so these are just regular first aid meds. No wonder it's taking so damn long to heal up. I'm gonna have to not do power shots here. I don't really want heavy shots here for power. Alright, catch you later, Boone. Surprisingly, Nanalee, and I will pronounce it in that way, has decided to stick around in the room. See how long that person can survive. And I word it in that way because, you know, most people can't handle waiting. So this is going to be quite challenging for this person, most likely. They wouldn't survive in the 3 Ultimate community, I'll put it in those terms. I'll do a triple volley here. Yeah, unfortunately I did forget to bring coatings here, which was a bit of a stupid thing to do, but that's alright. Again, it's a high rank quest, so it didn't really matter. That's one of the reasons why I didn't take extra time to ensure that I was prepared for the quest. It's because it's a high rank quest that I don't really need to be fully prepared in order to take on. But I will say that this is not the most comfortable loadout in the world, because if I do, for whatever reason, and it is situational, if I do for whatever reason have to hold my charge for longer than the level 3 charge, then I'll be shooting a heavy shot, which is not going to have its damage boosted by Pierce Up. That's the nature of this bow, but it just so happens that this is the ideal bow for Pierce Dragon, in my view, even though the level 4 charge is heavy. So, yeah, I don't regret using this bow, I just regret that it's not the most comfortable thing to use in the world. The ideal situation is to be able to hold the charge for as long as is necessary given the situation you're in. Let's say, for example, the monster's about to do something and you're charging, well, you might want to hold off on letting your arrow loose until the monster has finished doing whatever they're doing that could pose a risk to you. But in this situation, that would take me to heavy shot. I have a very specific window in which I can shoot a pierce shot, and I'm somewhat governed by that. I live and die by the timing that allows me to shoot pierce, but as you can see, such worries are unnecessary, as it is a high rank quest. Thanks, says Matt. You're quite welcome. Community service, says Sega. It's a very appropriate pre-typed response. It is community service in all of its implications, because this wasn't fun. There's nothing about this that was fun. I mean, maybe it was fun, but I don't really like doing high rank quests. Doesn't feel like much of an achievement if I do a high rank quest. Feels like a little bit of time wasting. And again, I got an EXP boost, well, HRP boost in this case, on a quest that's not going to give me much HRP in the first place. Might give me about 1,500 would be my guess. Which I suppose is better than nothing. Better than a smack in the face. Oh yeah, 1,650. Better than I was expecting. That was a liberal estimate, actually. Turned out that it was better than I imagined. Hello. Nana Lee. Nana Lee. I would guarantee that this person has named themselves after the Code Geass character. Awkward. Well, I shouldn't guarantee that. It's possible that it's totally unconnected. But if it does happen to be that, then that is awkward. That sounds great, Sega. I will see you then. Bye-bye for now. I appropriate the help. You've taken someone else's help for your own. You might want to change that to appreciate. Just for future reference. I appropriate the help. It's like that's surprisingly aggressive. It's like the help that was originally allocated to you has been appropriated by myself. The help is now mine. My God. Take it easy. Alright. I'll stay in this room for now. I've got no idea what's going to come next. Could be anything. Miko. Schmiko Miko. I don't know if that was my attempt at being funny or what. Anyone post says Matt. Well, Miko has taken it upon himself to do so. I'm not doing that, monster. I did it yesterday. I said that I didn't want to do a Kushala Daora again for a long time, and I meant it. Cruisin'. No. SNS is Chad. From HBG sucks in all uppercase letters and several exclamation marks to SNS is Chad. What's going on with this guy? Anyway, large Elder Gem. Depends on the Elder Dragon. If you've got Kushala on the board, I think you all know what's going to happen. But if it's not, then I might do the Elder Dragon. I mean, really, I'm assuming that there are only 3 possible Elders that actually... No, is it? Yes, there are still only 3 different... Oh my fucking god. I can see that 2 Hunter Rank 9s... How 2 have managed to hijack this room, I don't know. I mean, I can imagine 1 Hunter Rank 9 hijacking a large Elder Dragon gem room, but 2 of them together? What are the fucking chances? We've got Karen and Gunryu. Why? Make your own fucking rooms, people. Don't steal someone else's room. Like, read the information. I mean, what is it? Whatever, rather. Let's try to enunciate properly. This is a bit of a dysfunctional room name. What's this? This looks like someone's had a seizure. Actually, no, QQ. As I understand it, that's... And I only know this because I played Monster Hunter Online. But QQ is a Chinese software. Some kind of chatting application. Or is it? I think it's that and many other things. But anyway, it's some sort of thing. It's some sort of thing. So there you go. I wouldn't really call this classic Monster Hunter community-wise. This community is absolutely 100% new generation of Monster Hunter. 110%. It's just what it is. And even 3 Ultimate has become that. You can tell. They don't even know how to play the game. But you know what? I encourage that. I don't really enjoy playing with people who literally don't know how to play the game, but it's impressive to see people playing a Wii U game in this day and age and have it be a Monster Hunter game. And quite frankly, I think it's to be encouraged. No, it's not really a Chinese Discord alternative. I don't think I'm correct in saying that it's a chatting application. It could be, but it seemed to be multifaceted. It seemed to have a lot of functions, and I can tell you that Monster Hunter Online was linked to it. You needed a QQ account in order to play Monster Hunter Online, and I had one. And I downloaded an app for QQ, and it was weird anyway. I don't know. And I had to watch a tutorial video on how to set it up from this Australian girl who regrettably spoke with an American accent. It was one of the saddest things I'd ever heard. The girl couldn't quite work out if she wanted to speak with an Australian accent or with an American accent, and her saying QQ has been permanently embedded in my mind like a scar. QQ. It's actually like, I'm gonna upchuck my beer just remembering it. Anyway. QQ. It's enough to make me sick. Anyway. I mean, she's Australian. Give me a break. Cruising. Deja vu, right? Nano. I'm assuming that's an A. Looks like an A. Let's join this room. Or not. You know how it is with turns rooms. It's always the same. As soon as I go to join them, no space. I'll join this one then. N10 says, played with someone in 3U earlier that ran around with high rank leather gear and just stood around doing nothing. He was Hunter rank 500. I don't know. I find that hard to make sense of. Was he a troll, or did he cheat to get Hunter rank 500? It would have to be one of the two. I don't think there's a third possibility. There is no boosting team in the world that would get someone like that, the Hunter rank 500. It's not possible. He called himself a support healer. What I would have said to him was, you can support me by equipping some fucking decent armor. See, Gunzolino is trying to make sense of it in the most logical way, but unfortunately, it is the most unrealistic reality. It is, in fact, a guy who joined a quest with high rank leather armor at Hunter rank 500, calling himself a support healer, and actually thinking that he's being helpful. I mean, he could have been trolling, but you have to realize that trolling is just trying to achieve the stupidity that actually does exist out there in the wild. It's a level of humor that can only be attained if you happen to be that dumb. That's the thing. What is going on in this room? What was said? Kill... What's going on here? This looks like the beginnings of a fun conversation. I don't know what kill the boss is supposed to even mean. Which boss? There is no boss. Unless you're talking about Adolkar. You could technically say he's the boss of the game. But the boss, I mean, everything's a boss in this game. It's a boss fighting game, really. I don't know if I'm just going to assume that he was kicked. I'm guessing he didn't leave on his own. Why you come indeed. Don't know what Zeking's doing. Zeking doesn't seem to know. Zeking seems to be working that much out himself. Turn, says Misaki. I mean, Misaki has a lot to say. We've so far been told, kill the boss. And we've also been told that it's a turns room. By Misaki. Not that that really needed to be said. I've been told that it's my turn. And you know what? I'm going to post Elder Frost. I apologise for any background noise that may in some way negatively affect the viewing experience for you. Are you player 4, Zeking? Are you? Don't say player 4 and then go and post your own quest because I haven't posted mine fast enough, you dork. You are actually phenomenally foolish. I mean, I've literally gone and changed my weapon. I'm not asking for much, I'm just asking for basic observational skills. See, everyone's gone and joined your quest. Let's see how he plays this. Let's see how he plays this. D is going to assume that I've gone and posted my quest while going against that. Check it out. See what he's doing? See what he's doing? Okay. Good. For a second I thought he was going to go against me after having decided that it was my turn. That would have been hilarious. That would have been the funniest thing I've seen all week. It would have absolutely been top quality entertainment. And I wouldn't have really cared. It just would have been absolutely hilarious. Anyway. Please stop, okay. Looking for Exchanger. If I can't find it, then I'll just go for Attack Oblige, and then... I guess Lucky Count. Lucky Count might help. Yeah, kick in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what is going on in that guy's head. The fact that I didn't post my own quest within 30 seconds of him telling me it was my turn basically told him, oh, I don't want to post. But admittedly, maybe he didn't really expect me to post because of my hunter rank. It's possible, but, you know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. In his defense, I don't usually post in turns rooms, but I do want Elder Frost trunk spines. I don't want to do it, but I kind of have to. I would like the freedom of choice to choose ice blunt weapons. I don't really have a shout to say aim for the trunk. I could say aim for the head. I have a shout for that. Would that communicate what needs to be communicated? I could try. I mean, it could very well be the case that other people would want to aim for the trunk as well. I mean, that's what I would hope for, but... yeah, if I'm the only one aiming for that fucking trunk, there's no guarantee that I'll break it. It is harder to hit than you might think, especially when he's swinging it around like a flaccid cock. Yeah. Put it away. No one wants to see that. Particularly not me. I'm feeling rather sensitive today. Is this the third one? No, I think it's the second one, isn't it? I think it's the second time I've done this one. Could be going crazy, but... yeah. In this recording, that is to say. Something was broken. Was that the tusk? I don't know yet, so I'm going to keep shooting. Or the trunk. Stop saying tusk instead. Try to be slightly less dysfunctional, Doomlink. I love it when he stamps his feet like that. It's like he's having a little tantrum. Well, more than a little tantrum, honestly. A big tantrum. He's getting sick of all these hunters gathering around him. So he stamps his feet in protest. I guess I'm a bit reserved, aren't I? I mean, I lose my fucking temper, you better believe it. I've done things on camera. I've thrown things on camera. I had to basically deal with a whole recording being out of sync because I tossed my controller, which in turn disconnected my webcam, which I think I failed to break the trunk. Yeah, that's about right. Failed to break the trunk. What's the fucking point, man? What's the point of doing this if I can't break the trunk? I mean, seriously, I'm doing my best to aim for it. I swear to you, hand on heart, I'm trying my best to aim for it. No one will, except for me. So... well, me biting the microphone, like putting the mic in my mouth was not like some sort of aggressive, defiant maneuver. I was doing it as a joke. But I guess you could say that was me going crazy. It was a crazy thing to do. Oh, fuck me. I'm going to get pretty annoyed if I'm doing this quest only to not get a single trunk spine because no one else... you know what, I'll say aim for the head, please. Aim for the head, please. Does that mean anything to you guys? Hopefully. Hopefully that means aim for the trunk. If it doesn't, then I can only do so much. I don't have a pre-shout for this. And I was so fucking distracted by the fact that I was under the impression that Zeking was going to depart on his own fucking quest, that I didn't think to say anything before departing. So, yeah, I'm a bit worried that we're going to have 2 dead fucking Elderfrost without the thing that I need broken being broken, which would be, ladies and gentlemen, not only a complete waste of time, but an instance of me doing a quest that I don't want to do, and then not even getting anything out of it afterwards. So, that would suck. Quite a lot. Hopefully what I've said has gotten the point across. The Longsword Larry's over there. Really don't seem to have understood, but I can only do so much. There goes D. D was my last hope. I was hoping that maybe he understood at least, but he's dead now, so... Why do I bother? Seriously. I think there's a capture percentage chance. But the chances of succeeding in a capture with these people is so remote that I better not even bother trying. Oh, fuck me. The thing is, now that I'm out of slicing, I have to go for pierce, but that's not going to deal centralized damage. That's not going to deal all the damage in one point. It's going to be lacking damage on the tusk overall. I'm pretty fucking pissed, guys. I'm far from impressed. I can't even aim for the tusk in this moment. It's inside the ground. It's harder to destroy than you might think, or harder to break than you might think. That didn't do shit, that just knocked the fucking snow off it. No. Miss me with that. No, D the Wonder Boy, with his pierce shots, is certainly not aiming for it. But I'm probably expecting too much, you know. Head equals trunk? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think D's making much of an attempt anyway. He might be. It's hard to really tell. I suppose he is. Swear to fucking God, if we do not break this trunk, I'll be pretty unimpressed. To be completely honest, I would rather fail the quest than kill 2 Gamoth and get no trunk spines. I'd actually rather fail the quest, because at least I would take pleasure in wasting their time. Because, you know, it wouldn't just be me whose time's being wasted. We'd all be in this together, you know what I mean? I'm looking for solidarity in my Monster Hunter experience. So. It's not worth even, yeah. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get to the shout in time to stop them from killing him. The trunk is broken, shockingly. Against all the odds, the trunk is broken. So I'll get like 1 trunk spine from the quest, yay. Brilliant. What joy. I'd be less frustrated if this were a quest that I actually wanted to do. I've done enough Elder Frost. I'm so sick of this monster. Anyway. Point is that, needing all of these Elder Frost weapons is very frustrating, and I'll probably take a break from it. That's enough for a while. And that'll definitely do me. Let's see what we get in the rewards. 1 trunk spine if I'm lucky. No trunk spines if I'm not lucky. Waste of my fucking time, ladies and gentlemen. An unenjoyable quest for literally no result whatsoever. That's what I have received after all that. That's what I get. Okay, so now I get... I don't know whose turn it is. Is it Zeking's turn? Yeah, it's Zeking's turn. Go for it, man. Misaki seems to be under the grave misunderstanding that it's his turn, or her turn. It's not. You know, Zeking's not being skipped, clearly, because he went and posted when he decided that I wasn't posting. And if you go in ascending order, or rather descending order, you would see that after me comes Zeking. It's quite simple. It's not a complicated matter. Honestly. But Zeking is looking quite submissive at the moment. He doesn't seem to care. Oh, Misaki was just taking a look, clearly. Just taking a look. What do you want? You are the host. You don't need a written Go, says Miyazaki. Again, without her command, this room would not function. Unless she had said go, we would have all just stood here forever doing nothing. I don't know what Zeking's even doing, quite frankly. Nope. Nope. No, 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 no. No. In case you were wondering, no. That's not happening. Rekrutierung! Rekrutierung! I don't know what that word means, but it's not as aggressive as it sounds, let me put it that way. It's not as aggressive as it sounds. I might not go for much longer, honestly. I've hit my 2-hour mark. 2 hours is my minimum. And this community's starting to really drive me up the wall. So... yeah. Sorry, Asteria, I don't know about investing in this room, quite frankly. And by investing, I mean, you know, investing my time. Recruiting. Ah, that must be what it means. Must be recruiting in German. Not that I remember what the German word was, but yeah, sounds about right. Let's see what's happening in this place. Any fun? Any fun at all? That's all that I'm really looking for at the moment. Any amount of fun. That's not quite what I was wanting, but I'll take it. This HR10 guy, I don't think he's gonna be joining this quest. No. And I'm sorry, Fulgair. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the point is, yeah, guy with the name that I have made an attempt to pronounce, but have likely failed terribly in doing so, you're gonna have to leave or something. Thank you. What is going to make this quest fun? I said that I would use bow, did I not? So I will do so. I will use rapid bow. Rapid bow on Devil Joe's pretty fun, actually. I got a lot of fun out of doing that in Portable Third. So I'll give it a shot here. This will probably be my last time. I feel that I'm on the end or at the end of my tether. It's always good to see a bit of exchanger there. What I will do... yeah, I will not ready up. What I'll do is well, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back momentarily. I will not ready up and hope that I don't keep these people waiting. I'll be back in a moment. This room is strangely uneventful. Scrade is antsy. He's ready to go. If you were to ask him, "Are you ready to go?" he would answer with the affirmative before you could even finish asking the question. He wants to go right now. Right now. And I do not want to three-man with these guys. Also, I need to get coatings. What can this bow shoot? Okay. Level 2 for power, level 1 for elemental. Which is A-okay. I'm not too worried about Zerkufo, or Zerkufo, however you're supposed to say that. I'm not too worried that he's not here, readied up in the quest or anything, because in the end, we do want to ultimately wait for a fourth person. It's only going to start being concerning, or it's only going to become a concern when all of us are ready and he's still not readied up at all. So. Now, this means I want to hunt right now. Right now. Let's hunt. It's already past his bedtime, come on. Zerkufo, I think it's time to maybe stop being AFK. I think it's time to come back to the game now. Because most people would have kicked you out by now, I think. I've just got this feeling. Scrade, do it, man. You know what to do. The timing for that was really funny. I don't know if it ended up being as funny for you guys, but the moment when I was asking for that person to kick the other guy, I disconnected. Basically, I had personal network instability. We are back now. And that was pretty funny, I'm gonna tell you. But anyway. Got Shirayuki. And Liang doing Hellblade EX, not doing that shit. Grimclaw Tigrex, I would have done it, but it's high rank, so no. Got Shah. Red Helm 4. Go fuck yourself. Rust Razor G4. No. Got Skasahasa. No. That would be the Japanese pronunciation of that name. I don't know what the Celtic pronunciation is for that. Or the Gaelic pronunciation. And specifically the Irish Gaelic pronunciation. I don't know what it is. Sorry. Anyway. Moving on. Okay. That's not a room. 0. Agnaktor's Deep. Okay. I'll join this room. Sure. But yeah, I'm assuming 2 VODs have been created now. That is the... hello to you too, Chinese man. I don't know what he said, it was a bunch of Chinese characters. But I'm gonna guess that he extended some kind of greeting to me. I will go... bow, which is a partial rhyme. In fact, maybe you could say it is a rhyme. But I will not be going thunder, let me put it that way. I need to remember my rapid water bow. I've got no idea what that is. You know what, I might actually go spread for this. I think spread would be more appropriate. I can see immediately what my water spread bow is. Absolute deviance. It's not partial, but absolute deviance. There's nothing half-assed about this deviance. Which is a concern. Just how much of a deviant is this bloody bow? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys are still able to see the live stream. Things did go down very briefly. It was one of my shortest... what do you even call that? Periods of instability, I suppose? Down periods? I don't know. Point is that the first time OBS tried to reconnect, it succeeded. Usually it has to try like 3 times. Because OBS is bloody useless. But anyway. Straight from the beer to the whiskey, right? Anyway. That is the natural order of things. I would like to at least wait for a third person. But as I understand it, there aren't many people playing at the moment, so we might not be so lucky as to get a third person anytime soon. But I can always pray. I can always hope. What I can do in the meantime is update my friend on when he can expect to watch anime with me. That's what good friends do. Is it not? Yeah. Did not mean to type in all caps. There we go. Don't need to scream at him to let him know what my availability is like. Yeah, this is about as hopeful as I was expecting. This guy's probably hoping for me to... Ah, here we go. Just as I was going to say that he was probably wanting me to level up even now. There you go. See, patience is rewarded, ladies and gentlemen. This is a nice set. Grand Tokka? Yeah. The Grand Tokka set, I must tell you, was one of the reasons why I had to take a break from this game, because I couldn't work out how to get it. Could not work out how to get it. I knew it was from villager requests, but the specific villager request that you needed to unlock the line that would eventually lead, like the quest line that would... Oh, it was a fucking joke. I'm telling you, the solution to unlocking something specific when it comes to villager requests is to just do all the villager requests, because there's no comprehensive guide that exists. At least there wasn't back then, and I'm guessing there still isn't, that will allow you to very clearly determine how to unlock something that you want. Interestingly, this bow, unless I had already set up for... No, I think there was a different bow that I bought these coatings for. No, that's true, so I've got power level 2, yes, so I want the opposite to what I've set up for. Is that right? Yes, I want the opposite. That's pretty funny. Aside from confusing myself most profoundly, I will buy these coatings and ready up. I apologise for taking so long. You can see that the host is looking for me. He's like, what's he doing? He needs to ready up now. As soon as possible. And I agree. Quite frankly, we need to get started with this quest as soon as possible. But yeah, when 2 separate VODs end up being created, I can live with that. It doesn't take too much time to fix that, so... Ultimately, whatever I have archived will be consolidated, and the VOD will have a consolidated result as well, so... We're all under control. We'll start off with Element Coating Level 2. This is a lovely bow, by the way, but I must tell you that the 4 Ultimate equivalent, which ends up being the Desert Celtus bow, looks even better. It's amazing. Yeah, one of the reasons why I record this game, Nico, is because it's one of the easiest ones for me to play, and it is one of the most active. And when I say that, I'm of course referring to actual Monster Hunter games as opposed to pseudo Monster Hunter games, which is what 5th gen is. So assuming I want to play an actual Monster Hunter game, this is one of the easiest ones to play, particularly if I want to record. So there you go. Oh, you get the hell away from me, sir. Now in the case of spread, I will have to ensure that I charge up to level 4. It seems that level 3 is rapid. So level 4 it is. Bit of a slower process, but that's alright. You need to make a decision as to what you're doing. He's not committing to anything. All of his animations are very short, and I don't even know how else to describe it. Non-committal. How about that? You can at times just get barely clipped by that attack. It's not very nice at all. Of course, the good thing about spread is that you don't really have to aim down your sights at all. Or aim your arrows, or whatever you want to call that. In other words, I can just hip fire. And it creates an arc of damage in front of me. I enjoy that style of play. But it only works for certain monsters. I find that this is a good monster to do it with. But yeah, the Desert Solstice bow, which is not this bow, it's basically this bow but with a slightly more light brown / golden look about it, is in my opinion one of the most attractive bows, visually speaking, in the series. And what Bean said is also correct. No, Nico, Rise was dead on arrival. That game was a fucking absolute... No, I'm not even going to go there, actually. I'm not going to get started on this conversation, but I will tell you that what you're describing as being the reason why no one's playing Rise at the moment is only the tip of the iceberg. That game is so fundamentally fucked in every single way. Not just in terms of what they ultimately delivered, but especially in terms of the game design thought process that went into its conceptualization is actually a complete insult. Is so low level that only those with no self-respect will like it. And yeah, overall not worth playing, and I'm glad that everyone has moved on. I can't believe that just happened. One of the reasons why that happened was that I thought because he was higher up, like on an incline from where I was, that his beam would go above my head. It did not. And it's not clear whether or not that's going to happen. Let me make that very clear. Because sometimes that happens and then sometimes that doesn't. That's the problem with verticality in Monster Hunter when you've got something like a beam attack. Wait. This is one of the most, I mean, could you imagine having such a terrible typo in a shout? I'm assuming that's supposed to be from. This person has not only failed to have the letter O in that word, but they've managed to add an extra letter. What is that supposed to mean? Anyway, maybe it could be an acronym. Maybe I'm trying to derive too much meaning from it. I don't know. No, I don't really want to talk about Rise. I don't find it to be worthwhile. I was very quick to disavow that game, and no one wanted to listen to me. And if history decides, collectively, that it was a bad game, so be it. But whether it does or not, that game's not worth my fucking time. It's not worth my time. And quite frankly, neither is World. So, but I don't want to get started on World, because now, and this is the sad thing, people are going to treat World like a cherished game. I hated that fucking game. Hated World. Couldn't stand it. So, yeah, now people are going to think World's the benchmark. That's the worst thing about Rise. Rise was so bad that it makes World look like the benchmark. That's the worst part about all this. Can't fucking believe it, personally. You've done something I never would have expected, Capcom. You really did surpass expectations. But in the wrong direction. Definitely in the wrong direction. Maybe he's Catholic and added a cross. Well, you don't have to be Catholic to add a cross. It's not like only the Catholics use a cross to denote the worship of Christ. But, I mean, we can always try to make sense of that terrible attempt at speaking English, or typing English. Anyway, let's try to not actually fail this quest. That would be a really annoying thing to have happen. But I wouldn't be able to take too much issue with it because, you know, I would have actually ended up contributing to the failure, given that I was one of the people to die. I don't quite understand how I managed to die. I understand it, yet I don't. But, yeah. Let's try not to actually fail this quest, shall we? I think so. No, not the max potion, you fucker. I wanted the life power. It's a good waste of a max potion there. Did not wait for long enough for that one. In other words, I ended up shooting rapid instead of spread. Getting close for this one. You absolute waste of space. Everyone's on the life powders because no one wants to fail. I'm glad that we are all of one mind on that. Failure would be very frustrating at this point. There is no reason why we should fail this quest. It's only a hyper fucking Ugnaught tool. We should be perfectly capable of completing this. Now the angle of this beam is ridiculous, so you need to stand basically flush with his body so as to not be hit by it. Would love to maybe kill you very soon. Nothing surprises me anymore, Gunzolino. Nothing surprises me anymore. But again, I can't say anything because I died, so... Pucked Up's auto shout for placing a trap is, "I'll set a trap face down." Which is both cute and sad, all at the same time. I generally feel like auto shouts shouldn't exist at all. Because people don't use them strategically. so it generally ends up cluttering the chat box. Was that... oh, that was an actual successful mount. I thought it wasn't. It looked like a failed one to me. There you go. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad we at least succeeded. Anyway, that's not to say that I'm usually unappreciative of that fact, but I wasn't expecting to succeed. I thought some other guy would die. The Chinese guy's out of here. He's got places to go. He's like, I'm done. He just left. So, that's fine. Must be past his curfew or some shit. Anyway. Might go and... actually, do I even have... no, don't do that. I don't know, I don't have pickaxes. That was the question that I was trying to ask, but then I had a brain fart. I said that was going to be my last quest, but I don't know. Don't know if I'll have that be the case. I feel like continuing to hunt, so... I may do that. I'll do one more. How about that? I won't do more than that. One more is more than enough, really. I'm of two minds when it comes to doing another quest, so I'll keep it to one. That'll do me. But what I will do is find another room. Can you please go to the yes option when I press left on the D-pad? That'd be great. To buy up. To bup. A very long engravement. Can't remember what quest this is. I think it's Hyperglavinus, isn't it? I don't want to do Hyperglavinus, so if I'm correct, I will promptly leave. That I shall do. Great. Well, I guess I won't even get to find out, but I think I'm right. Eric wants help with Red Helm G5. No thank you. Pucked up with his Yu-Gi-Oh tactics. Is alone with Tempest. I'll leave them to their private moment. Tainoi with Lao Shanlang. Deviant Mizutsun. I've never heard of a Mizutsun. I've heard of a Mizutsune, but this is a new monster name for sure. Mikasa. Why you would name yourself after that brand of sporting equipment, I don't know, but obviously making a bad joke. Probably named after literally the worst girl in Shingeki no Kyojin, but that's fine. Everyone has a right to be totally wrong when it comes to their personal preferences. Let's go and put those max potions in the box where they belong. Code something or other left the hub. Code 9527. I don't know if that has any meaning to him in terms of, you know, code 9527, but it doesn't have any meaning to me. What's the quest again? Now I have to go and check. I didn't internalize what it was. Chihiro, join the room. Oh, it's fucking Raging Brachydios Radio. Let's go and have a look. And see what might be appropriate to equip. Let's go Rapid Water, shall we? Whatever that'll end up being. Let's equip, load up, and then... what would it be? It could be absolute... it might end up being absolute deviance without load up. Let's just assume that that's what it is, because even if it's not the best option, it would be a perfectly fine option, so I'll probably just go with that for the sake of equipping something without too much time wasted. It should be fine. It's rapid level 4 on the level 3 charge. That's actually pretty good. Let's see what my HRP is. Yeah, even if I got Exchanger, I wouldn't rank up to 9, 10, but that's fine. I think I can live with that. I will still try to get Exchanger. It's not looking hopeful. Nope. Not today. We'll go for Defender High and Lucky Cat. Not that I really need anything from it. What am I going to get? Defender High. I'd rather that than Lucky Cat, quite frankly. So thank you. Coatings. Let's go and buy some more of those. Alright. Let's get going. Whoa! Okay, he wasn't wasting any fucking time. That's a clear indication of a person who's really ready to go. Really ready to go. They were probably damn near offended that I didn't ready up sooner, quite frankly. Thank you for the boost. Oh. So as I have heard, and I'm assuming it's correct, Rapid does not deal the sort of damage that it's supposed to in this game, and my personal theory as to why is because they wanted to further incentivize the use of Heavy Shot. Because Heavy is basically Rapid, but slightly harder to use and no doubt deals more damage, but I have it on good authority that and that entire situation that transpired right there is so entirely retarded that I don't even want to explain how that happened, but anyway. Point is that I'm pretty sure they wanted to make it even. They wanted to widen the gap between the damage of Rapid and Heavy even further by actually taking the time to weaken Rapid Shot with the bow, which is a shame. Rapid's usually pretty damn good, but it's just not that good in this game. And it was interpreted to be something of a glitch. Something that was not intended in this game. I don't know, I think it was intended, personally. It would make sense. And I wouldn't put it past Capcom to implement something so illogical that it would appear to be a glitch when in actual fact it's not. Would not put it past them. You can desist at once, sir, in flinching me with that fucking gun. Alright, now for power level 1. Gonna do an arc shot that I'm assuming will... Yeah, pretty sure that it managed to hit him there, but... I'm a bit worried about him getting close to me and then parts of his body detonating on me. I'm quite worried about that. Would rather not have to experience that. That would have been on target, but he was well and truly flinched off course. This is not going my way. Not even remotely. Now if I was his target, and I had managed to fail keeping track of him in the way that I just had failed to do so, I would have taken a Falcon Punch to the face and I wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. And it could have been a one-shot kill for him. So that would have sucked for sure. This was hiring. Are you sure? That was unreasonably fast. What the fuck is this group? That's what happens when everyone's running Pierce. No, I don't play Smash Brothers. That was ridiculously fast. Holy shit. That's what happens when everyone's running Pierce. The damage is just insane. Fucking hell. I genuinely thought that that was a high rank quest. Fucking hell. Well, maybe I'm going crazy, but that seemed faster than normal. Anyway. As you do. But rather a fast hunt than a slow one. It's a different Brachydios quest that you're thinking of. The one you're thinking of is in fact a gathering quest where you end via subquest when killing Brachydios. And it's just a normal Brachydios. Don't think he is hyper, even. Just a standard one. Alright. I was very close to reaching 910 there. So maybe I should do one more. No, I actually wasn't as close as I thought. Forget it. I'm done for now. I will disconnect. Good hunting. I thank you all for watching. I'll see you when I'm next recording Monster Hunter or anything else you'd like to watch. And thank you for everyone who has played today. Thank you Sega for playing, as well as Beans and Autonomic. I'll see you all next time, and hope you enjoyed this recording. Bye bye for now.